This is something we saw down the stretch against the Thunder a few games ago, and then again against the Nuggets the other night. It's something I've alluded to a few times and written about at Go PHNX, but I wanted to take a look at some of the sets that the Suns run down the stretch, specifically their double drag action, and how they're able to get a different result every time. So this is the first of 3 straight sets that they ran of double drag, or what's called a 77 action, where 2 guys come up near the top of the key to set staggered screens for the ball handler, with 1 guy in each corner to space the floor. So on this one, Chris Paul being defended by Reggie Jackson, Devin Booker setting the first screen on Jackson to Paul's right, with his man, Bruce Brown, right behind him, and then Deandre Ayton is following up with the second screen. So his man, DeAndre Jordan, is behind him near the top of the paint. Torrey Craig is in the strong side corner with his man, Christian Brown, to help position, and Kevin Durant is in that weak side corner with his man, Peyton Watson, playing him pretty close to start the play. So after the first screen, the Nuggets switch Jackson onto Booker, and Booker pops out to the 3-point line. Paul comes off the screen to his right. Brown, who's switched onto Paul, fights through DA's screen, but still needs DeAndre Jordan to temporarily show and cut off his driving lane. Watson on the weak side over there takes a small step over toward the paint, with the play developing on the opposite side of the floor. So Brown does a great job recovering, keeping his hands up to deter any passing lanes for CP3. Jordan maneuvers the gap pretty well too, cutting off a driving lane, and Paul picks up his dribble while also staying close enough to discourage hitting DA on his roll to the free throw line. Watson is fully in the paint from the weak side, but with Brown's hands in Paul's face, and because of the angle that Watson has for a potential cross-court pass, Paul just swings the ball back to the left side with Booker near the top of the key. That's okay, though, because the Suns are perfectly happy with this outcome. They're going to let Booker go to work against Reggie Jackson rather than one of the best defenders in Bruce Brown. So this is the switch they wanted. Paul spaces out to the 3-point line on the right wing. DA drops down into the dunker spot near the baseline, and that's to keep Jordan glued to him. Booker blows by Jackson, because of course he does, and the Suns add a clever little wrinkle on the strong side to make sure Book doesn't see too much help. So Torrey Craig, who's been standing in the corner, cuts diagonally to set a back screen on Chris Paul's man, and without turning his head, Bruce Brown feels the contact from Craig, which makes him assume the Suns are really running something to get Paul open for 3. So his natural inclination there is to fight through that back screen while Paul drops into the corner rather than step up and provide help on Booker's drive. Christian Brown has basically switched onto Paul, ensuring he can't rotate over and stop Book. And then Durant lifts up a bit to keep Watson stuck to him. DA sinks lower to the baseline, pulling Jordan away from the play where Booker's driving. And the end result there, Booker gets an easy floater over the smaller Jackson, with Bruce Brown trailing the play and both Jordan and Christian Brown unable to step and help up. So that was the first one that they did. And then on the very next possession, they ran the exact same set against the Nuggets with the exact same defenders. So Jackson switches onto Book, popping out again, but this time Brown is right on CP3's hip, coming off the staggered screens, and DeAndre Jordan is in drop coverage this time to take away DA's role. Paul sees the space and takes on the challenge. He drives into the lane. He forces Jordan to deter his path to the rim. And with Kevin Durant in the weak side corner, Watson nearly has both feet in the paint, while Christian Brown stays attached to Torrey Craig in the strong side corner. Paul gives his old teammate Jordan a slight hesitation dribble like the ball is his yo-yo. He baits Jordan into leaving his feet, and that extra split second gives Paul his path to the baseline. So with Paul so close or so far under the basket and DA continuing his roll to the dunker spot, Watson has already fallen into the trap. He has to help on DA's roll, and Paul knows that Watson has both feet in the lane and has turned his back on Durant at this point. So Paul jumps past Jordan out of bounds, looking for the corner. Watson knows what he's about to do, but he's too late. The point guard flings a perfect bounce pass under his outstretched arm, and the result is an uncontested left corner 3 for Kevin Durant. Our friend from the 4-point play, David Nash, tweeted this out today, but in his last 3 games with the Suns, Kevin Durant has made 5 triples from the left corner. In his 15-year career, he's only made 5 or more corner threes in an entire season 4 times. So it's not a shot that he gets very often, and the Suns are already making defenses pay for leaving him, because that's a guy who shoots 43% from the corner for his career. Then on the last possession, this was the 3rd straight time they ran it. Same configuration, same defenders. Jackson switches onto Booker, but after what happened last time, DeAndre Jordan hedges hard onto Paul to keep him outside of the 3-point arc. Brown is in hot pursuit, trying to catch up to the ball handler. And then with DA rolling into the lane, Brown and Jordan try to show hands as Paul picks up his dribble, preventing an easy feed to Ayton on the roll. The weak side defender, Watson, has to come across and put both feet in the paint. And this is the subtle brilliance of Paul. He sits and waits because he knows Watson still has the last play in his head where he left Kevin Durant open for three in the corner. So he holds the ball. He gives a quick little pump fake to draw Brown and Jordan to him like a magnet. And he waits to see what choice Watson is going to make as Ayton continues his dive. So Watson tags Ayton on the roll because he has to, but he's completely behind him as DA seals just outside the restricted area. Paul's pump fake threw Brown and Jordan's timing off as far as trying to deflect his pass. And Paul initially picked up his dribble with 13 seconds on the shot clock. He doesn't pass until 2 seconds later, but the patience pays off. So it's almost mean for the Suns to pick on a guy who's trying to get developmental minutes and is eager to prove himself. And they prey on his lack of experience and his desire to kind of avoid making that same mistake twice. You can see the balls in the air to DA. Watson thinks Paul is about to rocket a pass over the top to the weak side corner. He's about to dash back out to KD to guard that shot, but he realizes too late that it's going to Ayton, who is now near the basket. So Watson recovers. The only thing he can do at that point is catch and foul Ayton on the shot. DA made both free throws. So on 3 straight double drag sets, the Suns got Booker on a floater for a mismatch, a corner 3 for KD, and a quality look at the rim for DA that he got fouled on. And this is the type of thing that, as much as opponents will know your plays, as long as you have multiple weapons within those sets that you can go to, little wrinkles like that, it's going to make you really hard to stop come playoff time.